Welcome back to another Advanced Wars by Web replay review, and we've got a monumentous occasion today because we've got a viewer submitted replay, but not just any viewer submitted replay. For you see in the Google form, which you can find linked in the description and fill out if you would like to see a replay get reviewed on the channel, the viewer wrote that this was their first big win. That's right, we've got the upset alert. For you see, the viewer's opponent was rated around 1,050, and the viewer managed to pull off the upset. And we all remember getting our first win against a player rated over 1,000, which for a lot of people that win is probably against me because I'm super boosted. But this is a very exciting game between two great players, Lieutenant Sterling in the red playing as Sami, and Burnjuan in the Yellow Comet playing as Sasha. We've got another episode of Waifu Wars, and I don't know what it is about the female COs in this game, but they're a lot more fun to play than the male COs, I'm finding out, except Grim. Grim is his own league. But I'm not going to reveal the ELOs or which of these two players submitted the replay because I don't want to spoil the result. So you'll figure out all that information at the end when we see the result. Okay, so as Sami's is tier 1 on this map. This is a tier 1 Global League matchup on this map, Cold Flame. And Sami's very, very strong on this map. We're going to talk about Sami's abilities right here. Foot Soldiers gain 30% extra attack and a 50% capture point bonus, which means when Sami caps with 10 HP, it does 15 capture points to the building's health right there. And that means in order to interrupt a full HP Sami cap, you need to knock that infantry down to 3. Very, very strong ability. Other direct units lose 10% attack. Transports gain +1 movement. But in addition to that, Sami's normal power double time kicks her units into high gear, for they get an extra, all her foot soldiers gain an extra square of movement. They get more attack, and Victory March gives them 2 extra squares of movement, increases their attack, and allows them to capture buildings instantly. And we've all seen the Victory March 1 HP HQ cap, and that is definitely one of the Giga Chad moves of Advanced Wars. But will Sami be able to pull it off today? Sami is in the red as player 1, builds the infantry, but opposing Sami, the tier 1 consistent waifu doesn't just fall between tiers 1 and 3 depending on the map. We've got Sasha, who is not having any of Sami's victory marches today. For you see her normal power Market Crash drains her opponent's CO power charge in proportion to how many funds she has banked up. A very strong power. And then in addition, you get that 10% extra attack and defense, so you get Von Bolt stats for a turn. So Sasha can do her best tier 1 Von Bolt impression. I think Von Bolt is banned in tier 1 on this map. That would, I think so. I've never played a tier 1 game on this map, but I've never seen Von Bolt. Oh, that was a really bad voice crack. Never seen Von Bolt, so I'm pretty sure Von Bolt is banned. And Sasha's normal power of War Bonds. If you need some extra cash, sorry, that's a superpower. You need some extra cash, you pop that superpower, and then for every point of damage you deal, you gain that much funds back in your bank, which sounds a lot better than it is, to be honest. Usually just popping Market Crash and denying your opponent's powers is a lot better. Sasha's passive power, though, is nothing to be sneezed at. She gets 100 extra funds per property that grants funds that she owns. So like comm towers, that don't grant any funds, those aren't affected, but it's basically 10% extra income on all of these buildings in standard. So a very, very strong CO that getting that extra money, you can tech up more, you can get all that money to drain their charge with Market Crash, a very strong ability. And already out the opening, Cold Flame is very spicy. You see here on the left, that is Yellow's strong side. You got 2 bases and an airport versus a base and 1 base and 1 airport. And then obviously mirrored over here on the right. So oftentimes it's like your typical strong side, weak side. You're rushing this base, and then if both sides flip the weak bases, Well, now yellow has control of the left side of the map, red has control of the right side of the map, and the battle lines shift from being horizontal to vertical. And that is a pretty cool dynamic to see it play out on the Advanced Wars game board. Yellow, obviously, you got to go for the neutral base, and then doesn't like put an infantry over here to try and stop these, but that is the right move, as this infantry could not deal enough damage to knock this thing down to 3 to interrupt the cap. So red is doing a good job taking advantage of the capture point bonus and then even still, like, this guy won't be able to do enough. And yeah, just getting on those contested cities right there. So good job by red. And, yellow's not really making a mistake. This is just, red can do this because they're playing as Sami. And I have not, I've played, I don't know, if I tell people who I've played and who I've not played, it might reveal the elos. So I'm not going to say who I've played. But I've played one of these players twice. And once on this map. So that was very exciting. Okay, so Sami taking advantage of that extra capture point bonus. This infantry decided not to shoot in here because it wouldn't interrupt, and just goes straight for this neutral city, which is the correct play. And then we have a recon, and the recon is the infantry counter, and its recons are good against Sami. It also counters the mech, as recons do a lot of damage to mechs and can usually just kite them, because recon's movement is just so much better, unless there are a bunch of mountains in the way, which are a few mountains, but nothing the recon can't handle. So recons are pretty good, and we have a recon over here, and recons on the weak side of this map are amazing, because look at this movement. It reaches all the way to the silo and can interrupt the comm tower. But Sami is going to get both these contested cities, and going to get one comm tower, and going to start this other comm tower. And yellow is going to have to use the recon. There's the recon and this guy. And can't even take out the infantry. So leaves it at 1 HP. And that, so it's still going to take 5 turns unless there's a join cap. We could see a join cap over here. But there's not enough units over here for red to really fight. But red is doing a good job getting these forward cities. And now can just easily get the back caps. Whereas yellow, knowing that red just has the advantage with that capture point bonus and not taking bad engagements, just wisely staying back and taking the one engagement there the yellow took was good. So smart plays by both players, and this turn is brought to you by water. It's what I'm drinking right now. Okay, so Sami decides to just leave this infantry on the city right here, as opposed to taking this shot, which makes a lot of sense as the mech is covering on the city, whereas nothing is covering the comm tower. We have an artillery coming out. Recons actually do a surprising amount of damage to artilleries, so red's got to be careful that artillery isn't out of position. But, just Sami things, right? Indirects don't receive that penalty from per power, so that is very good to build artilleries. And artilleries are also really good on this map because you want to lock down the space. If the artillery gets in one of these 3 squares, then it locks down the base, and that is very, very strong. And we have a counter tank out from Sasha, just rolling in the dough. And the artillery will also be good against the counter tank. And then mechs can kind of move up with the artillery, and since artillery is slow, mechs are slow, it works out for Sami. But Sami builds a tank as well over here on the weak side, trying to counter that recon, because the recon will just kite the mech. But Sami doesn't really need to push up too much, as these cities very, very safe right now, and even making a play on this city. So far the opening, both players are playing very well, but just due to Sami's powers, Sami has an advantage. Sasha's up 2 cities right now. I should probably get closer to the mic. That's what an actual real YouTuber would do. Sasha's got a lead, but Sami's about to get some caps of her own. And once all these back properties are capped for both sides, Sami will have the advantage to having these contested cities. So you can't really look at the score immediately and figure it out. But by rushing these, Sami has forgone some of these back caps, which just delays them a little bit. But it could be worth it if you're able to hold these contested cities for a long time. So very, very well played. Now the artillery covering the comm tower cap. Recon not going to be able to reach it. We have a counter artillery, but the tank's too far. So very well done by red there. And yellow is just maybe making a play for the middle here as this guy is in range of this city. Recon also shifted towards the middle to maybe harass this infantry, but then the tank will probably shift back over to the middle to counter the recon. So we'll see how red deals with this, going to capture this city, and capturing this city and moves all of these units in as well as the tank. And this, however, is the fattest overcommitment. Well, that sounded super negative. I apologize for that. But this is a very, very big overcommitment. This infantry, well, okay, you have to worry about this infantry too coming down and hitting. But I think red needed at least something over here to protect this comm tower. Now the comm tower is completely hanging. And, you got to be able to hold on to these cities, especially comm towers when, Sami's got that minus 10% attack. With the comm tower, her vehicles now have regular attack, so that's huge. So tank could have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and covered the comm tower. It could also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cover this guy if necessary. But if this infantry comes down, the recon shoots between everything. Red will have enough coverage, and but you still need something on that comm tower. So unfortunately. And then the tank shoots the pipe seam for good measure. Breaking on the pipe seam is sometimes a good idea because then you can bust it down and get vehicles out this way towards the middle. But sometimes, you don't want to do it just in case like your opponent has a bunch of units over here and they can surround your base more easily. But I think a lot of times it's good to break the pipe seam. And now the recon and infantry combine to take out the infantry on the comm tower. So good job by Sasha behind the comm tower, and now Sasha's about to get this. That is a guaranteed capture next turn. So unfortunately, just a blunder from Sami right there, giving up the comm tower. And Sasha's not going in on this city. In fact, going in over here to try and maybe even make a play on an early HQ play, as we got a tank, 2 recon, some infantry, and Sami doesn't really have a whole lot over here. This game, I found it really didn't pan out the way the typical Cold Flame does, and you'll see what I mean. Artillery is able to blast the recon, though. Mech gets the nice terrain on the mountain, and everything shifts over here, actually. So that HQ could be under threat here. So this guy's probably going to sit on this city and then threaten the HQ. So red's got to be careful. Okay, this tank, though, will cover the HQ. And we'll see what yellow can cook up here. So going... Oh, actually skip... Oh, this is actually really good by yellow. Has this captured, but instead of finishing the capture, actually skips it to be able to go grab this right here. And then all these infantry are able to fall in and get all these contested cities. So great job by yellow. Going to increase that income. And with that 10% extra income, even though Sasha is down 1 city, she still is getting 600 more in the bank. So that is how clutch that 10% income is. Now, this recon could also, I guess it could set on the airport, but there's no infantry in range to capture it, so the recon doesn't have to do that. Recon could, yeah, you don't want to sit on the HQ with this tank right there. There's really no units from red to be able to occupy it. So recon is, I think it's fine where it is. And brings another tank down, and yellow could make a big play on this HQ. So yellow's kind of cooking with gas. Sami did great out of the opening, but it's not protecting her buildings. And but we'll see what Sami's got here. Got to just make sure that HQ is at least covered. Got to make another play on that comm tower. And yellow could let this go through and just trade comm towers, but if yellow can disrupt it without investing a whole lot of units, that is even better. Okay, so now the tanks shift over, protecting the HQ. We have a copter as well. No anti-air. That's a tank instead. And red, though, able to take out the infantry that captured the comm tower and now start it back up again. but yellow's got a lot of units over here. This is red's weak side. Yellow could just keep fighting and fighting, and will always have more reinforcements due to this extra base, which is very, very nice. And also, this base, it's hard to reinforce unless it's like a mech, because the vehicles have to go all the way around the mountains. Now, recon could do the job for red, but you also got to deal with your opponent building tanks. Okay, so there's no copter counter, so this infantry right there completely hanging. I think, yeah, Sami had enough to go anti-air right here, which I think is better because you go 2 tanks to 2 tanks in this area. The recon's not a threat to the tanks. Anti-air also would hit the recons pretty hard. But this could be really, really bad for Sami. Puts a unit in range of the airport. Tank's in range, though, but this tank can trade it back out, so Sasha's probably not going to go for that. Oh, my mic almost fell over. Okay, artillery's going to hit the pipe seam. Hey, spamming artilleries. I like it. Takes out the 1 HP infantry on this city, and that allows the double team over here denying that comm tower even further. And now a rocket from Sasha got all that extra money. Actually, Sami's up 2 cities, and the 1, 2, there they are. But the rocket is going to be able to lock down the comm tower and lock down this city square, and to just put a ton of pressure here. And Sasha, like, might not even have to build over here. If the rocket and the artilleries can do enough, Sasha can just save money and not have to build anything. Copter, though, went after the pipe seam. I think Copter can go, like, here, for example, shoot the infantry, and then this recon can come in, shoot this infantry, take it out. Tank can go get a city shot. Where's the other tank? Oh, tank went over here. Where did that... Okay, let's take a look and see if this HQ attack could happen. I think so. Let's go to L move planero, and we'll see if we can calculate this. I think the original plan of copter, recon, tank, this is dead. This guy shoots. It's not going to be a good... Or maybe you could just leave it there to block. It's not going to be a good trade. But it is what it is. And then this guy can capture this. This guy can block like this. Is this recon's too... Well, actually, this recon can do this. This goes like this. And unless Sami gets a double time, which shouldn't happen, this might be impenetrable. Oh my gosh. I think it is. I think it is impenetrable here. Yeah. Because none of them can get to this square to 2-hit the infantry right here. Yeah, this is it. This is a guaranteed HQ cap. If you found a better HQ cap, or you found a way that red could save this, please drop it in the comments, because I'm genuinely curious as to how red could get past this formation right here. I think this is the way to cap the HQ. So that's very exciting. That could happen, but yellow does not go for it. Yellow instead goes for a shot on the comm tower guy, and goes for a shot on the pipe seam, and shifts all the way over to help the weak side. That juicy HQ is right there. Yellow at least does get these 3 contested cities. Now, yellow's up 22 to 19 in cities. Sami's going to get this, though, so it'll be 22 to 20. But that's 24k in the bank. That's enough for some Neos. The Sphere of Destruction. And even going in on here and taking a shot of the mech, knocking it down to 3. It is vulnerable to some of Sami's tanks, but Sasha's got 2 more mechs in the back. And Sami is in some big trouble right now. The HQ threat is still a thing. Not as much, though, as Sami kind of just shifted over, or Sasha shifted over to the right. But Sami's weak side about to fall. So we'll see what happens here. We continue on and join caps for the comm tower. And the mech shot the tank down to 4. And these tanks going up. So good plays, but the rocket doesn't even have to move. Sasha does not have to build anything right now. Can just blast the infantry on the comm tower or blast the mech. And with recons, this game's going to be a lot easier for Sasha. And then recon can even go here and Tappington the artillery there. And then the mech will be... Can't even trade unless we have a double time, which we won't because we'll see a market crash. Sasha just needs 5k. And Sami's not going to get the charge. Going to get a few of these trades, though, and take out a couple infantry. But let's see what Sasha can do here. Market crash, only 800 away, and going to take a couple shots. Copter, there's the anti-air, but now the comm tower gets cleared out, and that allows the infantry to take out the mech. The rocket also contributed. It shot something. Oh, the rocket shot this. Then the tank shoots the artillery, knocking it down to 7. Then copter shoots mech. Infantry kills that infantry, takes out the mech, and now that allows the recon to go. But first taking a shot on this HQ tank. The HQ's got a 4-star defense. And this will get repaired. So Sami is going to win this engagement. But it does allow these infantry to go a little more unchecked, as that tank has its handful there. And not going on this city and taking a shot at the infantry as afraid of the mech and the artillery. And we have this artillery pointing over here. So we got the artillery standoff right there. Actually, recon does go in and knocks that infantry down to 4. Now the mechs all move in. Bang! Takes out that 4 HP infantry. And surrounds the tank. Uh-oh, there it is. The bomber. Sasha's showing just how much money she has by building the Great Owl over here. And this bomber also covers the HQ. And this HQ could really, really be a threat. Anti-air is kind of overloaded. It has to counter this copter. It has to counter the bomber. Now, Sami will have enough for a jet fighter. So Sami could build a jet fighter over here. Not going to get this airport in time. Build another anti-air as well. Has enough options, at least, to be able to just not get totally obliterated by the bomber. And is even going to take a couple shots on mechs. Those are good shots. This one tank, though, will be able to trade something, but the rest of Sasha's mechs are too far. And I don't know about building a mech right here. It is very, very far. I think if you're going to build mechs, you should just build them from this base right here and just chain them that way. And these could just be regular infantry, and you could save a bit of cash. As this mech is going to take it, it's going to take a ton of turns to get involved. But now Sami striking back, and yep, going to win that engagement right there. The tank is now up 1 HP. Going to weaken that artillery down to 5, and going to try to make a play on the comm tower. Going to take out the recon. However, both these tanks are in rocket range. This rocket is the real MVP. You base lock yourself for a rocket noob trap, but Sasha is using it very, very well. And this rocket is about to get insane value right now. Artillery knocks down that mech to 2. Now this artillery just raining fire, and that artillery goes down. Rocket knocks that tank down to 2, and the mech gets finished off. Recon finishes off an infantry, allowing this recon to come in, occupy the city, take out that 3 HP, and just look at this. Doesn't even care there's a tank right here. Just boldly capturing the city right in front of Sami's face. Now the infantries all go in. Bang. Knocks that infantry down and takes a shot. So 4-4, but this is going to get repaired up to 6. And Sasha's attack has basically fizzled out here. Bomber can't really go in as the anti-air covers everything. Unfortunately, Sami is going to be able to win this area and hold off Sasha, but will Sami be able to convert some of these properties? We'll see. I mean, this engagement for Sasha is losing, but it is keeping all of these cities yellow, as Sami is not able to build infantry over here and send infantry. And Sasha is just domination station right now, sacrifices the mech for damage. That tank comes in and pops. That was an infantry right there. Yeah, pops the infantry. Okay, well the infantry was dead before, so it's just glitched. Now there's that infantry is not actually there. When I go back, sometimes it messes up, but maybe could have shot a tank, but this tank's unfortunately going to die. But at least with shooting the infantry, that's the comm tower just got a little bit safer. And Victory March almost online. Sasha's got to try and get that market crash, but does not have the opportunity. And now Red has the opportunity to get the Victory March. And this Victory March could definitely be helpful for Red. So we'll see what Sami can make happen here. First, Copter's going to get a shot. Sasha's market crash is now charged, so Sami might as well use the power this turn. Takes out the mech and takes out that tank. Almost to Victory March. 6k away. Shouldn't be super hard to get it. You could attack the copter to get damage on the tank, but attacks the recon instead. Anti-air comes in and one-shots the copter. Almost there. Needs 600, and that will do it. The victory march is online. And Sami elects to not go for it, and instead pops double time after the turn. The reason Sami did this is twofold. Number one, when this power is activated, charge will not be gained nor drained, and it like kind of stabilizes Sami's current power charge because that market crash is coming. The other thing is when you pop the power, you get that 10-10 Von Bolt stats. So with 10% extra attack and defense, Sami will be able to have an easier time defending against like Sasha's incursion over here, and maybe taking some good engagements over here. Although this anti-air is not quite covering the HQ though, as this bomber could go where this 1 HP tank is, and the anti-air is too far. But like that's why Sami did the double time. However, Sami could have still used the victory march and gotten a few flips with it. And since your power is getting drained anyway, it might not be the worst thing. So this guy can go up with victory march activated. This guy can go up here, cap this. This guy caps this. This guy obviously finishes that. So that really doesn't make any difference. So this guy captures this. This guy captures this. This guy can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and capture this. This guy 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I mean you could take some shots there, but you get these two flips and you get this city with the victory march. So could be pretty good. And in my opinion, I feel like that's a tad better than just doing the double time play. But someone who knows more than me can tell me if I'm wrong about that. If Sami should have gone for a victory march here. But now it is back to Sasha, and the rocket's got to smack that anti-air. Yep, there's the bomber going in for that free shot on the tank. Now the pipe seam has officially been broken, which gives Sasha a little bit more breathing room. But maybe could have kept it just to keep that rocket a little bit safer. But Sasha's doing great on the right side of the map, but not lost all the momentum over here on the left, as Sami has successfully pushed Sasha back. But with this medium tank here, these small tanks are going to do nothing to it. So Sami's going to need some artillery or maybe some more copters in order to deal with this medium tank right here. And with an army of mechs, it's going to be pretty hard to stop. And now going in on the HQ as well. Takes out the 2 HP tank. Everything just moves back, retreating. Sasha already got the weak side city from Sami. Sasha's doing great. I mean, the only real thing that Sasha did incorrectly, in my opinion, like big thing, was not getting that HQ cap earlier. But other than that, Sasha's been playing a very, very good game. Sami had a good opening, but not able to like hold on to the cities, not able to hold on to the comm tower. So Sasha's doing great in the middle game and goes in for the infantry takeout, interrupt another attack right here. Now bomber can hit the anti-air, so we're going to need a jet fighter, or we're going to need another anti-air over here to cover this one. But Sasha anticipates and has her own jet fighter, and this jet fighter is in range of the copter. I think anti-air here might just be better, but a jet fighter would at least it's not in range of this jet fighter. So jet fighters are awesome. Sami does not have enough money for the jet fighter, but with that charge saved up from the double time play last turn, now Sami has a double time. So Sami didn't use the victory march, didn't get those flips, but we'll see what Sami can do with this double time that they've saved up for. Well, going to grab that comm tower with the extra movement. All right, that's all but guaranteed, as the medium tank is not able to reach and the 8 HP tank blocks. So, and bomber not going to be able to get there either. So Sami is going to get that comm tower back at long last. There is the other anti-air that was absolutely necessary. And everything else just retreats on the strong side. Tank goes on the airport just so Sasha can't occupy it. and hits that pipe seam down to 43 HP on the pipe seam. Down to Sasha. We got 1 turn of having the comp tower advantage and hits that tank down to 2. And shuffles up with the mech army ready to take that comp tower right back. Jet fighter decides to go over here and try to counter these copters, run away from the anti-air. The rocket also moves off, and now from here it still covers the comp tower. And the bomber shifts all the way over here, giving up on the HQ, but I mean that fight was lost, so Sasha just has to run away. Join some tanks right there, and there's a mech and another bomber. Sasha up 4 cities, and with that 10% extra income, up 6,600 income per turn. That's like Sasha's playing against me out here. That's a huge income advantage, and Sasha will try to use it to her advantage. But Sami, getting feisty over here, going to try and make a play for these cities. Hits that pipe seam one more time. Built an infantry over here, so probably a jet fighter is coming. Yep, there's the jet fighter. There it is. This jet fighter could shift over, but now the bomber's got to be really, really careful. And Sami's got both of these now, got the comm tower back, so Sami just needs to play defense. Hold on to these two for as long as possible, and then try to win the strong side back. But that rocket and jet fighter is going to make it really hard, as jet fighter also acts like a blocker for the rocket if need be. Alright, back to Sasha. I'm going to take out the guy in the comm tower, but not able to get it. The mech can capture the Sami city right there, but the comm tower is safe, and the jet fighter is being an absolute menace. It is out of anti-air range, and it occupies the city, so Sami can't grab it. Starts the comm tower as well, and this is a really, really... The rocket is just steadily moving up. Sami is in a lot of trouble here. But where Sami is strong, the middle. And what's in the middle? The HQ. And Sami could flip the tables on Sasha and go for this HQ cap. With these anti-airs and copters, this is a very, very nasty force that could take back the middle and hit this HQ. And we've seen plenty of Sami HQ cap comebacks before. So Sasha's just got to be really careful here. And in fact, everything shifts over here to the weak side. There is a jet fighter on the horizon, and these infantry are too far from the HQ, but maybe Sami can make something happen and actually base skips this base to build a tank over here. I don't know if you need the tank over here, or you could have just built a tank over here and help out with the HQ defense if necessary, as the tank counters these anti-airs. But Sasha's got to be really, really careful now. Sami starts these 2 cities, and I don't think there's a way for Sasha to interrupt and take that and hold on to them. Sami also has a comp tower advantage, but Sasha up 60k in value. We'll see how much damage Sami can do this turn. And the answer is not a whole lot, as everything just kind of shuffles around. The jet fighter fearlessly goes over here, blocking the city, which is smart. There's no anti-air or jet fighter over here from Sasha, so gotta do that. And now Sami really likes Sasha's rocket, so Sami's like, I can build a rocket too. And there's the rocket truck right there, locking down the comm tower. It's not locking down the city though. Could have used one of these infantry to tap the mech, and this probably is like an 8 or a 7. I would say probably a 7 with that comm tower and Sami's bonus. But then you build the rocket, and now the rocket is able to fully lock it down. But that city will get flipped. The comm tower as well goes through. Titan comm towers, and Sasha up 5 cities now. Jet fighter moves over here to counter this jet fighter as well as these copters. And Sami decides to shift everything over here instead of trying to make more of a play towards the HQ. So we'll see what Sami's got cooking up. But I think Sami could have gone for this HQ, and that would have alleviated it. If like some of these units shifted over, that would make this easier for Sami to take back. And over here, I mean, you don't want to be hardcore shifting to your opponent's strong side. There's this rocket here anyway. I don't know. I think Sami was just better off maybe trying to make a play for the middle. But now Sasha, a few units shift over. We have a fighter chain. That's always the best. You love to see that. The wingman over here. You can be my wingman anytime. But Sami's able to get 2 flips. Now down only 1 city and gets a tap on the comm tower. Rocket covers the square now. Copter comes in. It's going to hit a mech. Anti-air. All right, you got to have something to counter these jet fighters, and the anti-air is as good a counter as any. And this jet fighter, though, might be in this jet fighter's range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope. That jet fighter right there is good. And Sami shuffles on the strong side. But not actually able to reclaim any territory. So good job by Sasha with all these indirects. And now Sasha goes in with the jet fighter, takes out that copter. Mech goes in, takes out a tank. These 2 infantry take out that 1 infantry, allowing the medium tank to now get on the city and shoot. It's in rocket and artillery range, though. So that medium tank is going to get blasted. But right now, the jet fighter is protected. And now the copters go in and get the takeout there. The anti-air will be able to trade one of them off, though. Now, rocket even just smacking this guy, because why not? And bomber as well to counter the anti-air. Oh, Sami's in some trouble in the middle of the map, as Sasha just has too many units. 60k unit value advantage, but only 3 units up, as Sami just has a ton of infantry on the field. But Sasha with all those expensive units, and there's the market crash. All of Sami's charge halfway to double time instantly gone, because and then buys all her units. You doing things in the correct order of operations. You love to see that. This infantry does not even care. He's like the honey badger. He's starting that city whether you like it or not. The rocket hits the medium tank. The artillery hits the medium tank. It's down to 2. And the copter and infantry take out the mech, allowing this tank to come in and cannot quite do it. 1 HP medium tank, but that allows the anti-air to come around here and tap that fighter down to 4 HP. The other jet fighter moves over here. There's just one slight issue with this jet fighter. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The jet fighter is in range of this jet fighter. So we're going to need like an anti-air or another jet fighter to cover for this fighter right here. And maybe, actually the tank can go over here and block. And the bomber, I don't think, could cover that. But this could be very, very sketchy, very dicey. Nice shot with this copter, though, as this anti-air is too far away. There's no more jet fighters over here, so good find by Sami there. And the tank does not block for the fighter. It goes in on this mech, so now all Sasha has to do is take out the anti-air, and this fighter would get a free shot right there, and a tank was built here instead of an anti-air. There's no counter to the jet fighter. If this jet fighter falls, no jet fighter coming in either, as Sami is now spamming copters and a tank over here. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. And the bomber's going to one-shot the anti-air. Bomber's almost out of fuel, though. It's got 23 fuel. It is close enough to this airport, though, to come back and get refueled if necessary. And the anti-air and infantry able to get the takeout on that infantry. Sasha's still up 2 cities right now, and 4k income. Mech shoots the artillery. Mech shoots a tank. And the rocket is just locking down this is like Pickett's charge right here. I mean, these infantry, they're like just getting shelled by the rockets. And Sami is finding it really, really hard to gain back any territory over here. And Sasha is dominating her weak side. That is insane. Sasha is truly showing that she is the Advanced Wars best girl. Fighter is going to take a shot at that copter for some damage. And, oh, actually, didn't even have to take out the anti-air. The fighter could just fly over the mountains, you know, because it's an air unit. And it shoots the fighter. It's an 8-4. And now anti-air will be able to hit the fighter. And then this fighter will be able to hit this fighter. So it's not totally lost for Sami. But Sasha's doing great. And there's the market crash. Sami now is down to 147.6 units of charge. And Sasha just doesn't even care. Just takes out that infantry right there. Just great mid-game by Sasha. Literally the only mistake Sasha made, in my opinion, was that missing that HQ cap. But Sasha, other than that, has been playing a great game. Knocks that fighter down to 1 and knocks that fighter down to 2. So great value there from Sami. And with the rocket, the artillery, and this infantry, able to liberate that city. That allows this copter to liberate the comm tower. So good job by Sami to hold on to these cities that they have. And this tank even trying to get involved by swinging around this side, maybe to trade something out if something attacks that anti-air. But I think maybe what Sami could have been doing all of these turns instead of just getting blasted by the rocket over here and trying to make a play for this, it would be to shift as many units as possible towards the middle and towards this HQ, because the rockets is slow, the artilleries have to get in position, and then you can shift towards that HQ with all of these units. Sasha has to respect it because you're Sami, and you get that infantry on that HQ. It's at 1.5% capture point bonus, or 1.5 times capture point bonus, right? So I think if Sami just, like, I don't know how many turns ago it should have started officially, but I think Sami should have tried to make like more of a play towards the middle and try to make Sasha's like indirects a little awkwardly positioned instead of just like trying to pile up here and just taking a beating. Now Sami did get a couple good free copter shots, but now that's not going to happen anymore with this anti-air. So I think Sami needs to make a play for the middle as soon as possible. There's another jet fighter. All right, now the skies are about to be dominated by Sami as these two jet fighters are weakened. The bomber's got to be really careful. It's got 23 fuel, and it's got 8 HP, so it can go back and be a fresh bomber for a fraction of the cost. But Sami does not shift over towards the middle. In fact, just accumulates more units over here, and there's just more infantry in rocket range, right? I mean, you got to be careful. That's why I think Sami needs to go towards the middle, and then at least there's a threat. And if Sasha shifts over here, well, it helps the weak side. So we'll see what these, and anti-air even takes out the copter. Fearless takes out the sacrifices the recon and sacrifices the infantry, maybe trying to get charge or maybe getting a guarantee. Oh no, let's actually pull out the math and see. So this tank's at full HP. How much does this recon do? Recon against tank, it's going to do 1 to 4% on the sacrifice. So that tank's down to 99 max. And then this infantry, how much does it do? This would be a 10 HP. It does 5 to 13. So that's 6 total. So that tank is at 94 max. And the bomber does 83 to 89. So if this tank's not at a 9, then that bomber has no chance. So I guess the sacrifice were for damage or for some charge. But it doesn't look like the math just quite worked out there for Sasha. But is able to go in, needs about 1,000 of charge, and that's not going to be a problem. Anti-air gets hit, artillery gets taken out, fighter gets hit for some damage, and now Sasha's got the charge. Another market crash is about to hit the field. Even shooting that tank, and even use the infantry to chip it down even further, knock it down to 3 HP. And now Sasha is just not content to go anymore. Just going in right on Sami. And you can tell Sasha is an avid viewer of Undisputed back when Skip Bayless was on there. And he said, I just busted right inside him. And he can't move around anymore. And he seems overwhelmed by my girth and tonnage. Oh my gosh, dude. The out of context like sports moments are the best. I mean, these announcers and sports commentators, they have to know what they're talking about. Like, there's no way they could say that and then their mind doesn't immediately go in the gutter. Like, Skip Bayless knew what he was doing. He was like, what's the most out-of-pocket thing I could say on national TV and get away with it? And of course, the first thing that comes to his mind is, I just busted right inside him. And he's talking about a boxing match, by the way. But we have another market crash. Sami's beautiful charge, all gone. But with all of these units, Sami might be able to get up there to a close to another power. There's a ton of expensive units around that Sami could do a lot of damage to, but right now Sasha's doing great. Up 8 units and up about 8k or 80k, excuse me, in value. So Sasha is doing great, but we'll see if Sami can do damage. Well, the rocket is going to deny the comm tower even further, so nice job there. And the anti-air knocks that bomber down to 1 HP. Not going to get enough value, though, out of it for a power. I'm going to slam some infantry into the tank, and this infantry, though, is the MVP. Gets the roll, takes out the tank, and taps the mech down to 4 HP. That mech knocks that tank down to 1 HP, and the mech sacrifices itself for damage against the anti-air, allowing this copter to go in and smack that. But Sasha just has too many units over here. The jet fighter comes to help out with the copter situation. And rocket, though, it's only got infantry targets, which is kind of nice for Sami. But, oh, the Neo tank comes in. And what took that out? Oh, the copter. Okay, so the copter finishes off, liberates the comm tower yet again. Sami's doing a great job holding on to these 3 properties right here. But Sami is just getting overwhelmed on the other side of the board. On the weak side, or on Sami's strong side. So Sasha's doing a great job on the weak side. That rocket's invaluable over here. And we'll see what Sami can do. The tank gets taken out, and now the mech shoots at the copter, maybe trying to get some charge or just chip that copter down even further. And bang, takes out that 4 HP anti-air. And the 1 HP fighter managed to knock this fighter down to 1 HP and still survives the counterattack. No, fighter play this game has actually been pretty good, I feel like. Uh-oh, but now take 2 on the HQ. Sami's got to be really careful now, as both of these 2 cities are about to fall. I don't think there's any way Sami can interrupt. Actually, double time could come in, and this 9 could go get the interrupt. But we'll see how much devastation Sasha can inflict on the other side of the board. Takes out the anti-air, takes out the tank. This copter, nice shot on the copter, knocking it down to 3 HP. The anti-air one-shots the mech, allowing that tank to get a nice city shot, a 9-3. And this bomber, it's only got 6 fuel, and it's going to use 5 next turn, so it's pretty much dead. It's just a glorified blocker for 1 turn. And copter going in for some more damage. Rocket just picks off another infantry. Another infantry in the field just gets shelled. Another bomber that I didn't even notice hits the field as well. And that is enough charge for the market crash. Sami's power has been drained, and Sami is just in a lot of trouble. Down 2 cities, down 4k in income due to Sasha's daily power. And Rocket, though, able to shoot that mech, do a lot of damage. Tank goes for the interrupt, cannot get any sort of roll, and that infantry is still alive. Neo tank, though, combines with wait, what was the second thing? Oh, the 3 HP tank to knock this tank down to 1 HP, but it is not going to be enough damage. 3 HP copter, though, able to take it out. Fighter takes out the 8 HP copter, and then Sami resigns. Wow, what a crazy game. What a crazy game. So very, very well played by both players. I think Sami had a big. I think Sami's biggest mistake was on the strong side, not shifting towards the middle when all those indirects were arriving. And then you try to make those indirects more and more out of position as you try to push that HQ. And then Sami's also doing kind of good on the weak side for that middle phase. So maybe he could have gone for a combined forces and hit the HQ. And it's a pretty viable strategy with Sami when you've got that infantry capture bonus. But Sasha played very well in the middle game, like I said, a bunch of times. Missed that HQ cap, though, and that one way I played it out in the move planner, I don't think there was a way for Sami to actually have stopped that, and the game could have ended a lot sooner. But the result is the same. Sasha has won, and Sasha, Burnjuan was indeed the viewer, and it was defeated the 1050 rated Lieutenant Sterling, who I've played twice, once on this map. And once on Looming Threat, and I actually ended up winning both of those games. But Lieutenant Sterling is still a force to be reckoned with, and still played a really solid game here. And yeah, this is an amazing match. And thanks for the submission, and I'll see you in the next.